All right, guys, we are back with videos again. Now that we are working on our new unit. We didn't have videos for a while because we were doing review, and then we didn't have videos for the beginning of this unit because I was having some software issues. But I'm back and I'm very, very excited because this is a really fun geometry unit to finish our year. Okay, so let's start with finding the surface area of this rectangular prism, okay? And so first we have to really understand what we mean when we say surface area. So the definition of surface area should be a review, but a surface area, I'll write it here, is the total area of an object's faces or curved surfaces. And you'll see this problem a lot in word problems where we have the word problem that'll say something like, how much wrapping paper does it take to cover this box? And that's a really typical way that we'll talk about surface area. So let's take a look at this, excuse me, shape right here, and we are going to find the surface area. So because this is a rectangular prism, there are three basic surfaces that I'm going to need to find the area of. All right, so the first one is sort of this front surface here, okay? And I have that area, and I can just count how many units that is. All right, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 units. All right, so I have this 6-unit face right here. All right. But I know that in the back, there's another of this same surface, right? So I have two of these 6-unit surfaces. So this part that's covered in yellow, and then I have that one in the back that I can't see. That's going to be 6 plus 6. So that gives me 12 units so far. All right. So now I have this other surface here. All right, I'm highlighting that in green. Okay, and I'll go ahead and count. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And if I were to draw that over here, 2, 3. Right, and I have that other side. Okay, and that gives me 8 plus 8. So now I have 16 units. All right, and then I have this top and bottom. All right, so I'm going to color that over in blue. And I'll go ahead and label that too. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And if I were to draw that over here, okay, I have my 12 plus my 12. All right, and that gives me 24 units. Okay, so now taking all of these sides, I have my 12 units plus my 16 units plus my 24 units. All right, and I add those up. 6 plus 4 is 10, 11, 12, 7, sorry, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 52 units squared as my surface area for this rectangular prism over here. Okay. So I have 6 faces total. I can only see 3 in this picture. So when I see these pictures and I'm told it's a rectangular prism, I know that I'm always using 6 faces, and I know that it's 2 of each of these sort of faces that I can see. So I have this sort of yellow on two sides, I have the green on two sides, and I have the blue on two sides. Let's take a look at our next problem. Okay, and in this one, we're not given the units in boxes, we're given the measurements. So we need to, excuse me, find the surface area using the measurements that we're given. Okay, so I'm going to kind of do the same thing. I'm going to start with this section right here, okay? And this yellow section is 5 centimeters by 10 centimeters, okay? Because I can assume that this length here is the same as this length here. So I have this section, which is 5 centimeters by 10 centimeters, all right? So 5 times 10 is going to give me 50, okay? But I have 2 of those. And so since I have 2 of those, I'm going to times that by 2 is going to give me 100. All right, and then I'll take a look at this part. And this is 4 times 10. So 4 times 10 is going to give me 40. And because I have 2 of those sides, I go times 2, that gives me 80. Okay, and then sort of my top and bottom here, and that is 5, right, because this is congruent, by 4. So I'm going to go 5 times 4 is equal to 20. And since I have 2 of those, I'm going to multiply that by 2, which gives me 40. So I add these together. I have 100 plus 80, which is 180 plus 40. And I have 220 centimeters squared. And so those are my rectangular prisms. But now I'm going to take a look, at this unfolded triangular prism. And now for some of you, you're going to look at this and go, I mean, obviously that's an unfolded triangular prism. If you're not a visual learner, like I am not a visual learner. I have to look at this. I have to be told this is a triangular prism. And I'm going to have to be really careful to make sure that when I fold it back together, I'm going to get the correct surface area. Okay, so I'm going to start with what would be part of this base. Okay, so I have this section right here. All right, and I know that this section right here is 3 centimeters by 3 centimeters. Okay, so in here I have my 3 centimeters by 3 centimeters, and that is equal to 9 centimeters. All right, and then I have this section over here. Okay, and that's 4 centimeters by 3 centimeters, which is going to give me 12 centimeters. I have this blue section here, and that's 5 centimeters by 3 centimeters, 5 centimeters by 3 centimeters, and that's going to give me 15. All right, and now I have what's left are these my two triangles that come together on my triangular prism. All right, and I'm looking for the base and the height. Okay, and to do that, I need to find the perpendicular lines of the triangle, meaning the lines that make the right angle here. Okay, so I'm looking for my base here, which is 3, and my height, which is 4. So then I have 3 times 4 divided by 2, which is going to give me 12 divided by 2, which is going to give me 6 centimeters. All right, same thing here. My base and my height, 3 times 4 divided by 2, which is 12 divided by 2, which gives me 6 centimeters. All right, so when I add up these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 faces, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I get 9 plus 12, that's going to be 21, plus 15 is going to be 36, plus 6 is 42, plus 6 more is 48. So my surface area here is 48 centimeters squared. Okay. Now, some of you guys asked me, okay, Miss Syed, but what about this measurement right here? And this is a line on the triangle that we call the hypotenuse, and you're going to need to know that later. You don't need to know it right now, called the hypotenuse. I actually don't think I spelled that right, so let me look that up and get it back to you on that. Okay, it turns out I was just missing an E. So my hypotenuse, hypotenuse, here is 5 centimeters, and I do not need to know the length of the hypotenuse when I am doing the area of a triangle, okay? It is really important that I can tell which is the longest angle and which are the two lines of the triangle that come at each other perpendicularly, meaning that they would make that right angle, okay? So I have these 48 centimeters squared. We're going to move on and take a look at our homework for tonight and see if we can work on our surface area a little more together. All right, so I'm taking a look at this triangular prism, which is very similar to the one that we just saw. Okay, only now I have some decimals that I'm dealing with, which is not scary for us at all. And so I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to start with my base here of what would be this triangular prism when I fold it back together. And I have 9 centimeters by 8.1. So I'm going to do 9 times 8.1. And I'm going to get, for the base, and I would like you to do this without calculators because we need to practice doing that. I'm going to get 72.9. Oops, sorry, 72.9. And then I'm going to take a look at this section right here. And my measurements there are 7.2 centimeters and 8.1. So I'm going to do 7.2 times 8.1. And I'm going to get 58.32. And I'll take a look at this part right here. And here I have 4.5 times 8.1. That gives me 36.45. And then finally, I have my triangles. So, and in this case, my base right here is 9, and my height is 4, and you'll see this is where it would have come perpendicularly. So I have 4 times 9 is equal to, 4 times 9 divided by 2, 36 divided by 2, which is equal to, 36 divided by 2 should give me 18. All right, and that's for the first triangle. It's triangle 1, triangle 2, same, 4 times 9 divided by 2, which is 36 divided by 2, which gives me 18. All right, and I want to make sure, just like I did last time, that I have the same number of measurements as I do sides. All right, so here I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and over here I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to add them all together. I have 72.9 plus 58.9 plus 58.32 plus 36.45 plus 18 plus 18, and I have 203.67 centimeters squared. Over here. 203.67 centimeters squared as the surface area of this unfolded triangular prism. One. So now I have a triangular prism that is not unfolded. Okay, this is all folded up here. Okay, and if we can see, I still have those 5 faces, right? I have my base, I have this side over here, I have this sort of tall, this sort of biggest side here, and then I have my 2 triangles. Okay, so let's first find the base, and I have 4 times 8, and that's going to be sort of this bottom section over here. Bottom, okay? So I have 4 times 8. Excuse me. It's going to give me 32. All right. And then I have this sort of back section here. All right. And that's going to be 3 times 8. So I have 3 times 8. And that's going to give me 24. Okay. And then I have this larger section here. All right. And that's going to be 5 times 8, which is going to give me 40. And then over here I have my 2 triangles. I'll make them blue. Right, I have this triangle here, and then I have this triangle in the back. All right, and they're 3 by 4. So for the first triangle, I'm going to go 3 times 4 divided by 2 is equal to 12 divided by 2 is equal to 6. Same for the second triangle. You might be saying to yourself, Miss Syed, why don't I just not divide the area by 2? Because I have 2 triangles. And I'm going to say don't do that because you want to keep yourself in the habit of always using the correct formula when you're finding the area of any surface. Okay, so I'm going to add these all together. All right, I have my 32 plus my 24 plus my 40 plus 6 plus 6. And that gives me 108. All right, so I have 108 inches squared is the surface area of this folded up triangular prism. All right, and then we have a central tendency review, and I had some folks asking me questions about that, so I will go ahead and review central tendency. So this is my data, my points scored during basketball games by the team. So show work to find the range in the number of points scored during the games, okay? First, I want to do this. I want to actually list these in order from least to greatest. Okay, and so I'm going to go 39, 39. All right, what comes next? I have 2 40s, 40, 40. I have a 45, 2 46s, and a 51. All right, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I always double check to make sure I counted correctly. And now let's talk about range. So my range is my maximum minus my minimum. All right, so I'm going to go 51 minus 39, and that is going to give me a range. 51 minus 39 is going to give me a range of 12. All right. What is the mode for the number of points scored during a game? So mode is the most. And here's the thing. You can actually have more than one mode. And in this case, we do, okay? Because we have 39 points twice, we have 40 points twice, and we have 46 points twice. So my mode is 39, 40, and 46. Now, if I had one game where they had one additional game where they had scored 46 points, then that would have been my mode. But mode is equal to most. And since I have 3 modes, there is a fancy word. This is a trimodal set of data, meaning it has 3 modes. All right, and now I need to find the mean or the average. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to add up all of my data points and then divide it by the number of data points. So in this case, I'm going to go 39 plus 39 plus 40 plus 40 plus 45 plus 46 plus 46 plus 51. And that's going to give me 346. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pieces of data. I divide that by 8 and I get 43.25. Okay, so how did I do it? I added data and then I divided by number of data points. All right, and I got 43.25 as my mean. Oops. All right, so showing work to find the median. What I'm going to do is write down here, I'm just going to recopy that set of data. I have 39, 39, 40, 40, 45, 46, 46, and 51, okay? And I'm gonna do this, not that fancy trick of just crossing out from the outside to the middle. Cross that out, 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 cross that out. I'm left with 2, okay? So I take my 2 middle scores and I find the mean of those. And so I do 40 plus 45. All right, that's gonna give me 85 and I divide it by 2. So 85 divided by 2 is going to give me 42.5 as my median. All right. Let's take a look here. Number 5. You have scored a 90, 85, 95, and 81 on your test so far this quarter. Pretty good. But you would like an average of 90. I want to make sure my average is 90. Would you reach your goal if you earned a 93 on your last test? Okay. So I have, these are my scores, 90, 85, 95, and 81. All right. But my goal is to have an average of 90, and average in this case is going to be mean. Okay. So if I get a 93 on this last test, will I have an average of 90? So I'm going to go ahead and add 90 plus 85 plus 95 plus 81, and then plus my 93. Okay. And we'll see if that gets me my average that I want. So I have 90 plus 85 plus 95 plus 81 plus 93. Okay, and so that's 5 tests. If I divide this by 5, looks like I'm getting an 88.8. And I'm going to just do that again. 90 plus 85 plus 95 plus 81 plus 93. That gives me 444. Divide that by 5. All right, and that gives me an 88.8. Okay, 88.8. So the answer is no. All right, I would only have an 88.8. Okay, I think, guys, that's it for homework tonight. All right, have an awesome night, and I will see you tomorrow.